Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a simple trick, or you could call it an approach to help you get rid of your sweet tooth, kick your sugar addiction, whatever you like to call it. This video is actually inspired by an article I wrote that has recently been published in Fulcrum Magazine. If you're following me on Instagram, then you'll see that I posted about that, and I will share a link to the e-version of my article in the description box below, but also on Instagram once that becomes available. So let's jump right into today's video. In 2018, for Lent, I decided to give up added sugar for 40 days. And that's when I discovered this approach that I'm going to share with you today. So the approach is very simple. You give up added sugar for 40 days, and within that time, you replace the treats, the snacks that you would normally have that contain added sugar with the 5 different tastes. So the 5 basic tastes are sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. So of course, under sweets, because you're not having any added sugar, you're restricted to the natural sweetness of foods. So this means that even natural foods such as honey, which are otherwise healthy in moderation, are excluded during this time period as well. So you're just going to enjoy foods the way they are. So this limits you to fruit, dried fruit in moderation, juices in moderation, preferably diluted, and smoothies. So of course you don't want to abuse the sweet category, because fruits, they really are nature sweets. So you still want to have these in moderation. And what you'll find is over this period of giving up artificially sweet things, giving up things that have added sugar, even if that added sugar is honey, what you'll find is that your taste buds actually become so much more sensitive to the natural sweetness of foods. So I remember for me, just how lovely fruit started to taste for me during that time and after, and just eating a blueberry and it just tasting so heavenly and so sweet to me. It's almost as if when you let go of artificial sweets, added sugars, it's almost as if your taste buds become more sensitive to the other tastes and they just come alive, and that helps you appreciate your food better. Okay, so now the second taste that I'm going to talk about is sour. Of course, you want to be careful with sour foods if you have sensitive teeth or certain other medical conditions. But in general, I have noticed that sour things are such an excellent way to kill sugar cravings. So just adding a slice of lemon in your water or sipping hot lemon tea, I've just found it's an amazing way to kill sugar cravings. And of course, you could also get the sour taste from foods that are naturally sour, so such as blueberries, like I just mentioned. Blueberries are just an excellent, perfect mix of sweet and sour. And also here in the tropics, we have this amazing wonder fruit called the African star apple. It goes by several other local names, but it's just so heavenly. It's so sweet and sour and succulent at the same time, and it's gorgeous. Now, the next taste that I'm going to be talking about is salty. So prior to giving up added sugar for 40 days, anyone who knows me, first of all, knows that I'm an absolute popcorn addict. It's a miracle that I survived 1 year of strict AIP without popcorn. But prior to my Lenten fast, I could only eat sweet popcorn. The salty popcorn just made 0 sense to me. And since that time, my taste have shifted and I crave salty popcorn now. I rarely eat sweet popcorn. So of course, I'm not saying to switch from one vice to the other. I'm not saying to go from being a sugar addict to being a salt addict. If you are a salt addict, then I do have another article coming up, so I've got you covered. But the point is about learning to appreciate other tastes and not being so overly reliant on sweets. And that's quite a problem I've noticed with most people. So different foods that you can incorporate are, like I mentioned, salty popcorn, or also a really healthy one, kale chips. And lost my earring. Anyway, moving on without the earring. So I was talking about kale chips. So that's another good recipe to incorporate during this 40-day period. So when you're craving your normal sweet snacks, you could have, as I mentioned, natural sweets. You could have sour treats. You could have salty treats, so popcorn or kale chips. And I will be sharing recipes for different foods, different treats under each of these taste categories on Instagram. So follow me there if you'd like this sort of content. Now, let's explore the umami category. Umami can be a bit of a difficult one to explain, but I think the easiest way to describe it is as a meaty flavor. And I think it's best understood through foods that have umami. So examples of foods that have umami: soy sauce, cheese, and my favorite one is an ingredient called nutritional yeast. It's AIP compliant. It's also vegan if you are a vegan. And you could try sprinkling some nutritional yeast on your popcorn or on your kale chips, and that's a perfect way to get the salty and umami taste combined. Now, the last taste, bitter. Most people don't think that bitter foods can be enjoyable, but they can. So full disclosure, I think I've always liked bitter foods a little bit more than the average person. I've always loved dark chocolate. That said, prior to my 40 days off added sugar, I only ever really enjoyed 70% dark chocolate, sometimes 85%. But now I can appreciate the sweetness of 90% dark chocolate, and it's something that I have regularly. So I'm not saying that you're going to get there overnight, but the point is, again, like I said, when you give up added sugar, you sort of learn to enjoy a more natural level of sweetness. So to put this in context, when you have 70% dark chocolate, that means that the chocolate contains 70% cocoa solids and the other 30% is sugar. Likewise, with 85% dark chocolate, it's 85% cocoa solids and the other 15% is sugar. And with 90% cocoa, you have 90% cocoa solids and 10% sugar. So of course, the higher that you go in cocoa content, it is sort of better from a standpoint of reducing sugar. So during my Lenten fast, I was only having 100% dark chocolates, which means that that's just 100% cocoa solids. There's no sugar whatsoever. And so even now, I don't just regularly tuck into 100% dark chocolate. But like I said, I've learned to enjoy 90% dark chocolate. It's a journey, it's a progression. So the way that I would incorporate bitter into my diet during this 40-day Lenten period was by melting 100% dark chocolates and dipping different sorts of fruit in it. So bananas, strawberries, and that way there's just this beautiful harmony between the natural sweetness of the fruit and the bitterness of the 100% dark chocolate. So I'm not saying, listen guys, any little helps, so do what you can do. By the way, if you would like to give up added sugar for 40 days, you don't have to wait till Lent next year. Now is as good of a time as ever. But that said, even if you don't feel like you're up for giving up added sugar for 40 days, you could still incorporate these different tastes into your diet. So try replacing your sodas, your soft drinks with fruit juice, preferably diluted, but again, you'll get there gradually, or with a smoothie. You could also try, if you like milk chocolate, try incorporating some 70% dark chocolate into your diet. If you normally like sweet popcorn, try having some homemade salty popcorn. Of course, that way you can also control just how much salt you're adding, or have some kale chips, etc. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you think that you need some help and guidance, that's what a health coach is here for. That's what we're here for. So you could always just reach out to a health coach for guidance. Otherwise, I will be sharing more tips and tricks on my Instagram page, more recipes for each taste. So follow me there if you're not already following me. And if you would like to chat with me one-on-one, you can also send me a direct message on Instagram at wellness_with_m. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Are you a sugar addict? Are you a recovering sugar addict? Do you have any other tricks up your sleeve for overcoming sugar addiction? I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear your feedback. So leave me your comments in the comment section below. and have a lovely, lovely day. Until next time.